going to move him, but let's just talk hypotheticals. Jamal Murray's contract extension doesn't kick in until next season.
Oh, no.
And he's like 50 plus million every year for the next 4 years starting next season. And I don't want this fits a little bit into the Brock Purdy conversation.
Okay.
Because Jamal Murray, to me, his value is maximized. I think he could be that level of player, that $50 million a year type of player, alongside Nikola Jokic and alongside Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and whoever else they bring in this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jamal Murray has a ton of value as a shot maker, especially in the postseason. Has that pick and roll with Nikola Jokic, just a really effective player for Denver.
Yes.
I don't think that you get Jamal Murray on the Kings, and maybe it works out with Domantas Sabonis. Maybe he has the same kind of success with him that he has with Jokic. But I think he would have to carry much more of the offensive onus than he does in Denver. And I don't know that that's maximizing Jamal Murray. Like, it feels like he's right at the top of his bell curve right now as a player, where his usage rate and his production match. And I think, I believe that if you start adding more to Jamal Murray's plate, you're going to start seeing diminishing returns.
Yeah, I agree. The other problem,
maybe I'm wrong.
So I bring this up all the time, like how I think, all of them, like whether it's Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, or John Morant, like I don't think you can have them in the same starting backcourt as Zach LaVine, right? I've said that like a bunch of times. Jamal Murray, I can't put in the same starting backcourt with Zach LaVine, but for a completely different reason. I don't want two guys that make a ton of money who both have had blown ACLs. I don't like, that's a lot of money to invest in players with major injury history.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, whether you
in my brain, you're swapping them.
Yeah, but you would have to.
Yeah, the contracts work. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do also have, just to sidetrack us for 2 seconds, we do have some breaking news.
Real quick, before your breaking news, I want to make it really clear to anybody listening. We're throwing out hypotheticals. We're not like, hey, this is a thing that both teams would do.
No.
We're just yapping. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. The NBA has released its all defensive first team and second team.
Ooh, okay.
Honors.
Can I guess?
Yeah, let's see. What's your first team?
First team, Evan Mobley.
Yep.
If the DPOY wasn't first team. Draymond Green?
Yes.
Okay, number 2. We've got Dyson Daniels.
Boom.
Number 3. Ooh, it was Mobley, Draymond, Daniels. Did Alex Caruso make first team?
He did not make first or second.
Oh, wow. All right. Jaren Jackson?
No, second team.
I'm missing some obvious ones.
Best defensive team in the league.
Oklahoma City.
Okay. Who's going to make it from there?
Oh, Lou Dort.
Lou Dort. Okay.
And Jaden McDaniels?
No.
Is it a big?
Nope. It's
not a big.
It's an up and coming out of King.
Oh, Amen
Thompson.
Of course.
Second team.
Did Asor make second team?
He did not. Second team is Ivica Zubats.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Jalen Williams, Jaren Jackson, Rudy Gobert.
Sure.
And Tamani Kamara.
Ooh, good for Tamani Kamara. I got to give my buddy Jordan Ham, who has covered Arizona sports for over a decade now, as long as I've known him. AZ Sports 360, I believe, is the website. When the Suns traded Kamara, he was like, "This is a bigger deal to me than DeAndre Ayton leaving." Like, Tamani Kamara can play. He was a big Tamani Kamara guy, so I've kind of followed him vaguely. Yeah, awesome player.
He's a guy
who they just found. They just got him in a trade. They just went, hey, here's this guy that's just not playing that much. We'll take him.
25 years old. He's 6'8", 220. List him as a power forward, but he can play the 2-3-4. He's a guy, in all honesty, I would offer up a first round pick for. He's
except he's probably part of whatever core Portland's trying to build.
Maybe,
I would assume.
but at 25, maybe not. Because they do have a bunch of younger guys.
At 25, he's super old.
Yeah, but like
it's so crazy.
if
The
you're a
NBA is
team
not.
that's building though,
Yeah.
would you listen if the Kings said, "Hey, so Kamar, just so people know, he's under contract this year at 2.2 million, this coming year at 2.2 million, and then has a team option at 2.4 million for the next year."
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're the Kings and you say, "Hey, we'll give you a future first round pick," like I don't care which future first round pick, but we'll give you a future first round pick for Kamara. They'd be like, they've got to at least listen and go,
I think they'd listen.
yeah, they'd be
for
like,
sure.
hey, we might cash in.
You got an all defense guy who improved a ton this year.
Yeah, shot 37.5 from 3, averaged 5.8 rebounds per game. You put him on the front line with Keegan. See, this
it'd
is
be awesome.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, there are ways to build this thing out without like mortgaging your entire future. But
this is where let's say the Kings call the Blazers and the Kings go, yeah, hey, we'll give you this protected 2027 first.
Mhm.
The Blazers go, we need 2 unprotected. That's the starting point. And the Kings go, too rich. Okay, Tamani Kamara off the table.
Yep.
What the Kings need to be doing here, and this is going to be tough. I'm not saying this is easy, but let's say they make a different trade.
Mhm.
Let's say they trade for Cam Johnson. Is there another player who's just buried on Brooklyn's bench that you go a Kessler Edwards type?
Yeah.
Where you're like, hey, throw him in the deal and let's see if we can make something of it. Because that's what Portland did with Tamani Kamara.
Yep.
They went, oh, hey, we kind of like his skill set. Let's get him in the building and see what happens. That if you can go get Tamani Kamara, awesome. But I think the more realistic option is in a different trade, trying to just, hey, let's rope in this end of the bench 6'8", awesome defender in college who hasn't been able to find minutes in the NBA.
Yeah.
Let's just he's 24, bring him in here. That's I think one of the things they're going to have to do. And again, that's tough because it's deep scouting. It's knowing who's on other rosters. It requires the other team to just be like, yeah, have them. That's where I think you're going to find a Tamani Kamara type of dude.
Yeah. I mean, I would still chase Tamani Kamara.
Yeah, chase anybody.
Player.
Chase anybody.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's one of those guys. So we got sidetracked on our point guard conversation, but it's because we had a little bit of breaking
news. All NBA teams come out tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be interesting.
Do we think Domas makes it?
I'm gonna say no, but
I don't think he does.
Especially with
the Kings only winning 40
right
games is tough.
Yeah, Zubac's being on here. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be tough.
Based on listening to different voters and hearing how they go about their process,
mm-hmm.
It's really, really difficult to be on a team that won 40 games and get into that conversation because, like, who are the good teams is almost always the first thing people look at.
Yeah, I honestly think that if he makes it, it's because there are so many players who are ineligible this year.
Yeah.
So,
well, and the numbers are still pretty good.
No, his numbers are great.
Yeah,
I totally agree. But the 40 win mark is bad.
Yeah, right. It might just disqualify him for people.
Yeah. So you're gonna look around. I mean, I don't think like the All-Star voting and All NBA are totally different things.
Right.
Yeah, like Şengün, I do not believe is All NBA. I do not think he'll make All NBA at all. Yeah.
Couple other options here. Jrue Holiday. The prohibitive thing with Jrue Holiday is he looked older this year.
Yeah, he looked 35, which is what he is, and his contract goes until he's like 38 or 39.
Yeah.
Like
he's expensive.
And it's really expensive. Like I love Jrue Holiday as a player, but there comes a point where again you're talking about a guy who won 2 championships now and who's been a leader and all that stuff, but how much more would you want to do you want to start over again?
Jrue Holiday is currently 34. He turns 35 in June.
Okay.
He's 2 months older than I am, and I'm talking about how old he is. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love sports. So next year is his age 35 season at 32.4, then 34.8, and then he has a $37.2 million player option in his age 37 season. Breaking news, he's picking that up. So this contract, and then you just kind of look at his production this year and his body of work, and he wasn't bad. He had a bad player, but he's just very clearly not peak Drew Holiday anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking on that contract, it's because you're getting something with it. Like that's, we want that contract and a pick, and you're going to take salary back.
No, I get you. I get you. That would be a situation where, again, like you could do that deal using DeMar DeRozan's contract and a handful of other different types of contracts, and that would save the Celtics so much money down the road. Because again, DeMar's contract's at $10 million next year.
They're way into the second apron.
Well, yeah, and that means and they're a repeat offender. So that means that if you're going to save them $25 million in salary next season, that's going to equate to like probably close to $80 million in luxury tax,
which may be their goal. They got a new owner. That owner might just be trying to shed salary. But again, if I'm taking back Drew Holiday, which peak Drew Holiday, perfect player.
Oh yeah,
perfect. Like there's a reason he wanted in multiple spots.
When he went to
Portland, he's not peak Drew Holiday anymore.
Yeah, when he went to Portland, that was a moment to go get him.
Yeah.
When he went to Portland before he went and won championships with a championship with the Celtics. I also I'll keep saying this. If you're gonna trade with the Celtics, I want Derek White. I don't want Drew Holiday. And I know people are like, oh, they're not gonna give him up. It's like, yeah, but it depends if their owner says we have to cut because I don't want to pay a $300 million tax bill again.
Yeah, I get my I guess issue on the Derek White thing is every single team is going to want Derek White.
Of course. It's going to cost to get him.
I don't think it's yes. I saw somebody yesterday I think Al on Twitter put out a like DeMar DeRozan for Derek White straight across swap. And I don't think DeMar DeRozan is going to do it. I think there are going to be teams who will give up younger players, multiple draft picks.
Yeah, well, you're giving up at least 2 first-round picks in that trade.
Yeah.
But I do think
I don't know that DeMar DeRozan fits at the Celtics. They shoot a lot of threes, and he does not. But anyway, that's a separate thing.
But we always talk about.
But Derek White is, if we're listing these guys in order, he is number one for me.
Yeah, all of the players that don't fit alongside Zach LaVine, Derek White fits.
Yes,
like he can play the one. He can manage a team, but he also plays incredible defense and would just give you like a ton. Like he brings so much to the table. So yeah, I'm a Derek White fan at this point. I think he's learned and he's grown and he's gotten way
awesome
better.
Player.
Yeah.
Really, really good player. I would happily take Derek White on the Kings. Okay. I have one more guy I want to talk about just because he's interesting to me. Okay. We'll tell you who that is next, and then we'll get into shooting guards, I promise. I swear we're going to talk about the shooting guard situation on the Kings roster. I promise. We're going to do it. That's James. I'm Kyle. Joe Brazil at the home studio. We're the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube. It's ESPN 1320, Sacramento Sports Center.
I think I